Hey Brownell. How are you, Brownell? Well, we just finished our first week with our 6th and 5th graders here in the building, and what a fabulous week it was. Our 5th and 6th graders, wow, what an incredible job you did with all of the new little nuances that we have for social distancing and everything else to make sure that we have a safe learning environment. You were magnificent. Couldn't have asked for a better group of young people to lead the way. Now Monday, when we get back on January the 11th, we get to welcome the 7th and the 8th grade cohort A back to Brownell, and on Tuesday the 12th, cohort B. And so we're looking forward to having all of you here. A couple things here this video is going to go through more specifically for our 7th and 8th graders, but there's a couple things that I have here that I want to address, and you're going to see here on this little video clip. The first is the entrance and exit. You're going to be over there, 7th and 8th graders, entering from the front breezeway, the south entrance. Yep, those are the doors. And then the other thing is, when you're waiting, we'd ask that you social distance, and we've put some little horseshoes out there 6 feet apart for us to do that. That's also going to be where you exit each and every day, 7th and 8th graders. So only 2 doors to go in and only 2 doors to exit. 5th and 6th to the north, 7th and 8th to the south. And the other thing is, I'm going to have an agenda and a little orientation for our 7th and 8th graders that you'll do on Monday the 11th and Tuesday the 12th. So don't worry, we got everything covered for you. The other thing is lockers. Lunch. I know those are big on your agenda for those first days. So 7th and 8th graders, we're going to get your lockers, schedules, locker combinations, all of that in first hour or 6th hour if you're in cohort B, and you'll be able to know where everything is. And then in the next hour, which would be 2nd hour or 5th hour if you're cohort B, you're going to have some time to get into your lockers, do your combination, and get yourself ready. So you're going to bring everything with you to the first class that you attend, and then carry it to the second class that you attend, and then you'll have a little bit of locker time out of that hour. The other thing I want to make sure that you know, 7th and 8th graders, is this. You will be in the first lunch every day. That's a lunch. 8th grade, you're going to have recess first and then eat second, and vice versa for the 7th grade. So that's something we'll go over the first days of school too. The other, follow me along on this little video here today, because there's some new classroom locations for certain 7th and 8th grade teachers, and I want to make sure you know where you're going. Well, excited to see you. Watch this video and you'll be really at ease for the first day of school. So I'd like to use this map just to go over first where 7th and 8th grade students you will be entering. Located here in the center, here with this little circle, I have 7th and 8th grade enter here. And so this spot right here is the south doorways of the breezeway. 7th and 8th graders, you're going to enter and exit this door each and every day. That's going to be the only point of entry or exiting throughout the day for you. I'd like to now go over locker locations. You'll notice right here, this point, this is going to be the 8th grade locker locations. You're going to be in the B hall, going from approximately the library all the way down to the end of the cafeteria hallway. So that's where all 8th grade lockers will be located. 7th grade, you're going to be here. You're going to be in the C hall, and most of your lockers will be in this area with beige lockers extending up into this area here where there is the vocal and instrumental music rooms. There may be a select few of our 7th grade students who will have a blue locker just due to numbers, etc., that extend here into the outside of C3. Now, 7th grade specific, your locker combinations, remember that these lockers are a little different than the blue lockers. So you're going to have 3 numbers. In each of those numbers, you'll start by going to the right. Then you're going to, for the middle number, go to the left. And you're going to go past 0 or that second number to get to it. Then you'll go back to the right. In these beige lockers, 7th graders, you're going to keep going to the right for that third number. You may go past that number. You want to go until it locks up, till it freezes, and then you can open the locker. Furthermore, when you shut your locker, 7th graders, make sure that you reset by turning that lock, that code, so that it locks. Otherwise, the locker will stay open. 8th grade lockers, these are the regular lockers, 3 numbers, right, left, right, same process as you had when you were in 6th grade. So the next part, I'd like to go over a few classroom locations, as some of them have changed and or altered since March of last year when we were in the building, 7th and 8th graders. I'm going to start in the upper right up here, world language. This is the same as it has been. A52 here, yellow, is Miss Porvin's world language classes. As we go down to the lower left here, I already have a circle. A2, this is going to be Mr. Detlinger's classroom. So if you have social studies with Mr. Detlinger, you're going to be there. Just across the hall, A1 is Miss Smith's academic assistance class, as well as for some of our students traversing to high school for classes. This is where you can have a brief study hall of sorts. Then A3 is Miss B. Moyer's class, and then Mr. Truba's A5. A7 is Mr. Kaufman, if you have Mr. Kaufman for science. Now, across the hall here, A6 is Miss Buback. Then A8 here, this is Miss Tobis's class, and then A12 is Miss Jordan. Here in A11 is Miss Feakin's class for math, and then A13 is Mrs. Duffield, if you have Mrs. Duffield for English language arts. Then I'd like to go down through A hall here, and we have, of course, all of our offices and so forth in the counseling center here. And then as we go down into B hall, and B hall, of course, is the only straight long hallway in the school. We have up here in B2 is where Mrs. Stackpool will have her classes for broadcast journalism. In the second semester, students will have Woods and Metals here in B4. And then right here, B6, kind of off the beaten path, is Miss Corden's social studies classroom. Then as we progress down here, we have the library in B hall. And then when we get to the next intersection, we're going to go down through C hall. And C hall goes all the way around our gymnasiums and pool. And right here, C1, this is our art classroom with Mrs. Rapp. Then here, of course, is the gymnasium in the center area. Then as we go into C hall further, C5A, this classroom is Mrs. Frame's classroom. So if you have her for English language arts, you're going to go there. Right here, C5 next door, this is Mr. Kettle's classroom for math. So if you have class with him, that's where that's located. C7A and C7, this is the life skills and foods classroom with Dr. Barchek. And you're going to enter through the doorway at C7A. As you progress through C hall and you make the turn here, you get to C11. C11 is our vocal music class, and that is with Mrs. Gross. Now C15 is our orchestra and band room, and so if you have orchestra or band with Mr. Gross or Mr. Miller or anybody else, you're going to be there. Then as we progress back through C hall, we're going to then get up into and back to our B hall. Now for lunch, one of the things we're going to be doing here is lunches. The 8th grade, you're going to eat lunch first. And so, you're going to eat lunch second. So you're going to have recess first. We have located here in B hall, right in this area, we've placed some tables. So if you'd like to set your lunches there and then move out to recess in the parking lot, or if the weather is okay, we'll go down B hall through here and we'll use the doorways here to go to the field. So you'll be able to set your lunches here, and then when you re-enter from the field here, you'll come back, or any other place, you'll come back in, grab your lunch, and then go back into the cafeteria. I'd like to briefly go through for the 7th and 8th grade what the orientation day will look like for Monday, January the 11th for cohort A and Tuesday, January the 12th for cohort B. So at the start of the day, you're going to enter the building at 8:05 from 8:05 to 8:15 is time where you're going to be going to your first class. And again, you're going to bring everything with you to your first class. The 5th and 6th grade, they enter the north breezeway doors, the A hall area, and all of the 7th and 8th graders, you enter the south door, the C hall doors. In your first for cohort A or 6th hour for cohort B, we're going to give you schedules. It's going to have your locker and combinations on there. We're also going to have you get lanyards, and you'll have a note card to put your name in there. And these are going to be used for bathroom visits and so forth to help you out. And then when you get to the next class, 2nd hour or 5th hour, you're going to bring everything with you again, but then we're going to actually provide some time for you to visit your locker, get into your locker, do some locker stuff, and get yourselves prepared, and then return to your 2nd or 5th hour. During 3rd hour or 4th hour, just prior to lunch, from 11:30 to 11 a.m., we're going to have a brief orientation with myself, Mr. Hunwick, and Mrs. McNally, 2 groups of students, and we'll go through kind of lunch and recess procedures. Again, recess. 8th grade, you have recess first while the 7th grade eats lunch, and then we transition to the opposite. So that is the same. 8th grade recess first, lunch for 7th grade, and then recess for 7th grade while the 8th grade eats lunch. Later in the day for 4th and 3rd hours after lunch, we're going to have some 15-minute tour type things by classes in both 4th, 5th, 3rd, and 2nd hours. And then 6th hour or 1st hour, depending on your cohort, we're going to have some dismissal time, help you out that first day so that you can maybe get some things to your locker and get more prepared and so forth. So that's a brief look at your orientation agenda.